Uhuru Odinga spoke yesterday. Junet Mohammed, who is a close ally of Raila Odinga, spoke yesterday. James Orengo spoke today. James Orengo is the legal advisor to Raila Odinga. Otiende Amollo spoke today. Otiende Amollo is one of the legal minds around Raila Odinga. And just like I've always maintained on this platform, in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. Everything is normally designed to achieve specific political objectives. There is no way all these guys spoke without an objective. And it's happening at the time when Raila Odinga has actually escalated his activities across the country. Tomorrow, I'm going to dissect the statements by these four guys. But for now, I want you to listen to the speech which is causing a storm in this country. The speech by James Orengo, the speech by Otiende Amollo, and the speech yesterday, for those who did not watch it, by Junet Mohammed. Listen in for now.
2018, we did not have a country called Kenya. We in the ODM had already mapped out the two sides of Kenya, and we'd already sworn in our own president, Raila Odinga. And we were committed to a journey of separation. The fact that the Right Honorable Raila Odinga and His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta met and agreed to chart a common path was a good thing for this country, because we would not be talking of a country called Kenya. And there are enough people who do not remember that. There are enough people who belittle that handshake and say that it's just about two people. It is not about two people. It was about a country. We are rightfully and will always remain behind the Right Honorable Prime Minister. And therefore, there are those who think that they can belittle the handshake and introduce other foreign elements and other foreigners and take us elsewhere. We want to remind them that where we were in 2018, as of February, anytime, the handshake was about this country and the future of this country. A separate issue is about the presidency. Raila Odinga does not need the handshake, does not need BBI to ascend to the presidency, because the presidency remains in BBI or no BBI. And we will support him, and the truth is he has always won and they've always robbed us. But this time round, he will win and we will get it.
Relationship between Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta is intact. And we know that it is built on a rock, and nobody can assail it or bring it down. And they made that handshake in the year 2018, first to bring peace to Kenya, peace and stability. And they have brought peace and stability to Kenya. Secondly was how to make Kenya a better nation, so that the future generations would not live some of their lives we have lived, of challenges, of suffering, and of problems which keep on recurring in this country called Kenya. So in that respect, I wanted to say the following. One, Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta have committed themselves in this second phase. The first stage was the handshake and bringing peace and stability. The second stage was BBI. And I hope that when we come to the referendum in June or July, that referendum is going to pass with overwhelming majority. And we praise the people of Siaya for being #1 in terms of county assemblies in the entire republic, and showing the way how it should be done. Now, the first thing was about the rising debt in this country. There is a plan that probably we are going to raise the debt ceiling. And it is important to appreciate that the burden of debt can oppress a nation for generations. So I'm hoping this time around the parliamentarians, including myself, will look at this question of debt very critically. Because it is debt that is making people in Kenya have little money in their pockets. Even the governor has talked about 15%. That 15%, if you have debts, they have to be paid. The Constitution says you must pay your debts first. So any rising debts is going to lead to circumstances where there is not enough money to bring to the county. Thirdly, which is more serious, in this country, as Uhuru and Raila are talking about BBI, there is a cabal, and I'm saying this without a fear of contradiction. There is a cabal inside government who are busy trying to chart the way how Kenya will be ruled in 2022. Civil servants have no business at this time, when we have got the Big Four agenda, wherever they sit, to discuss and debate on a weighty political objective of how the succession is going to take place. And we saw it during Kibaki's time, even during the first Kenyatta's time. I urge these civil servants to be compliant and obedient to political institutions and constitutional institutions. Because what we have witnessed in the last 3-4 months, and I'm talking as somebody who have seen how government works, whenever civil servants who are part of a cabal try to chart the destiny of a nation for their own personal interests, there can never be any peace. So this is just a warning shot, because we are going to expose these people. They are trying to derail us. They have already declared in their mind who is going to lead, who is going to rule Kenya next year. And I'm telling them, you are sowing, you are reaping where you have not sown. You are reaping where you have not sown. Without Raila Odinga, you could not be planning that issue of succession. So listen to these two principles, Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta. And Otienda Molo and my colleagues in Parliament, we must expose a civil service that is doing politics. Even in BBI, they have led to the closure of the Secretariat so that they run the BBI project from government offices which are not given that authority. The last referendum that we had, it was Professor Anyang' Nyong'o of Kisumu and Kiraitu Murungi who are leading the process of the referendum. I therefore hope that this thing is going to be taken seriously so that these institutions, the way they are behaving, even in elections, you've seen how elections have been held this year. That cannot be an election. And I'm sure if any of these elections were to be taken through a court of law, Otienda Molo would be a witness. On account of what has happened, on an election day there should be peace, not violence. And the violence in Matungu and everywhere has been generated by these forces within the government. And they must be exposed. Because they had interest in Matungu, they had interest everywhere. But at least in Kisii, we defeated their interest and ODM won.
Inahusu nchi nzima. Jana tulikuwa na uchaguzi ndogo ndogo katika nchi tu, huko Kakamega huko Kisii, huko Nakuru tumekuwa na uchaguzi ambaye wabunge wengine walifariki na wengine labda ilipatilishwa chini. Jana tumepata mshtuko kubwa sana katika nchi yetu ya kwamba uchaguzi inaweza fanyika hapa nchi ya Kenya, nchi ambayo ina serikali, nchi ambayo ina utulivu, nchi ambayo ina amani, nchi ambayo ina katiba, lakini watu wanaweza ingia ndani ya chumba cha kupigia kura, watoe msimamizi ya kura kutoka IEBC, wafurushe yeye, wapeleke yeye nje na sanduku yake na vyombo vya kupigia kura yote, wapige yeye huko nje, na polisi wanamwangalia tu namna hii kama wameshika mkono namna hii. Jameni, hiyo inawezekana? Hiyo si shetani? Mimi nimeshangaa ya kwamba hii nchi imefika kiwango hiyo ambaye polisi want to tell the government of this republic that one of the things that caused the chaos in 2007 and 2008 is when Kenyans lost faith in the police service. When the police were taken as a partisan people and Kenyans lost faith in them is when Kenyans now took arms and killed each other. Hapa kama wanasiasa wanapigana ni sawa, wacha wapigane. Kama wabunge wanapigana nje ya pale ya kupigia kura, wacha wapigane. Lakini kama utaruhusu wanasiasa ama wahuni waingie kituo ya kupiga kura, watoe ofisa ya IEBC nje, wachukue vifaa vya kupigia kura, sasa that is now anarchy. That is not even lawlessness, that is anarchy. And what we saw yesterday was anarchy. And I'm not saying that I am an upright person as a politician. If I have done anything wrong, let the law take its own course. Let action be taken against me. But when you see a police that we thought was reformed under the new constitution has lost command completely, where people can take the law into their hands and nothing happens, then you call that an election. What do you think is going to happen in the year 2022? Unafikiri kitu gani itafanyika mwaka ya 2022? Hii ambaye tumeona jana katika eneo bunge ambaye zilipigiwa kura ni mambo ajabu sana. Ni mambo ya kutisha na ni mambo ambaye itakuja kufanya nchi yetu ikose mwelekeo. Na lazima tuseme hata kama ni handshake. Handshake hajafunga mdomo yetu. Tutazungumza wakati mambo ni mbaya, tutazungumza. Wakati mambo ni mzuri, tutasema hiyo ni nzuri. Hii lazima polisi wafanye kazi yao, wadumishe amani. Hiyo ndio maana ambaye wanaitwa polisi. Na kama wanapewa amri bandia, wakatae, kwa sababu hafai polisi kuchukua sheria. Katiba inasema hivyo. Sasa kama polisi kazi yake imebaki kunyanyasa tu mtu ya pikipiki na kura inaibiwa pale, hakuna kitu inafanyika. Hiyo sasa ndio sasa hiyo. Kazi yako sasa ni kufuatana na watu ya chang'aa. Siku ya kura unakaa kama mtu ambaye hana nguvu, umebeba bunduki na unaangalia watu wanapigwa hapa. Tena ni ofisa ya IEBC. Ofisa ya IEBC anapigwa.